1,000 laughs over a weekend as swell. Vail Comedy Festival. Pet an alpaca or hike a trail. Memorial Day weekend.
Hey everybody, we're back. Another exciting episode of Live from Vail Comedy Festival. I'm Mark Masters. We got Adam Muller from New York City with us today. We're going to talk all about 2023 Vail Comedy Festival. It's every Memorial Day weekend. Check it out, VailComedyFestival.com. Adam, how are you today?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. It's been about 2-3 weeks since the festival. Hopefully memories are a little bit fresh for you still.
I've almost recovered.
Almost recovered. So much fun, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome.
Fun at altitude.
Okay.
There's a little extra recovery.
Yeah, the altitude. Exactly. Where are you joining us from today?
So I am joining live from Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn, New York. How exciting.
Sea level.
Awesome.
I'm at
sea level.
I should have just said sea level. Yeah.
Nice. Tell us how you heard about the festival.
I'm not sure exactly like when I first heard about it, but I know that I heard about it through several different channels. Like I knew some comics that had gone, I guess 2022.
Okay.
And it had a great time. I knew someone that had applied and not gotten in, but had said great things about the feedback he got after not being accepted.
Yeah, a little inside baseball. Comedians, I don't know if this will continue forever, but if you don't get into the festival, you do get a few perks, if you can call them perks. And one of them is a tape review that some people have said was very valuable. But you get what you pay for it, is what I always say, and it's a free tape review. So,
yeah, and when someone speaks very highly of a process that wasn't successful for them, that says a lot about the process, in my view. And then the third thing is you announced some of the headliners who are people that I know that used to be in New York but now live in Los Angeles. So I was like, oh, cool. If I get into the festival and go, I get to kind of reconnect with some old friends. So that was sort of the third way that I heard about it, and then I applied from there.
Amazing. Do you want to shout out your old friends?
Oh, like Dustin Chafin and Leah Bonamo were two of the headliners this year. Former New Yorkers who left during the lockdown and moved to LA. So it was great to meet up with them in the middle of the country.
Yeah, awesome, terrific. Okay, so 3 different ways you heard about the festival, and then you applied, you sent in a tape, and you got in. You got the nice word that you were accepted. How did you get to the festival? So you're in Brooklyn. You had to get all the way to Vail. How did that?
Oh, sure, yeah. So I flew to Denver, and then the festival. So I guess it's thank you, arranging travel, and not just for me, but for I'm going to presume every single comic had a ride from Denver to Vail, which just made it so much easier. And Denver's it's an easy place to get to. There's a nice little train from the airport right to downtown, and I came in a couple days early. Did a couple shows in Denver before going. I guess one show in Denver before going to Vail. Which
let's talk about that. So you came in. The festival proper is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every Memorial Day weekend. Yeah. This year we added a Wednesday show, 2 days, the eve, if you will, of the festival in downtown Denver. LodoComedyShow.com was the Lodo comedy show. It was like a takeover. We called it Friends of Vail Comedy Festival. And we had some people who did the festival last year, a bunch of comics that flew in early that were doing the festival this year. Tell us about your experience that day, and tell us what you did right before the show, because I think that's kind of interesting.
Oh yeah, so I flew in that morning. So the Wednesday morning, I landed at Denver. Took the little train, got out to Union Station, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which and it was from there. It was walking distance to both where the show was going to be, but also to Coors Field.
All right.
And I looked, and I know the show is at 8, but I also noticed that the Colorado Rockies were playing the Florida Marlins. I think the game probably started at 7:30 or something. But I walked over to the stadium about an hour before the game, and I didn't have time to go to the game because we had our show.
Yeah.
But they're bleacher tickets that are only $4, and you can walk around the whole stadium. So I paid $4, went into the stadium, watched the pitchers warm up, walked around the whole place for like 45 minutes, had a hot dog, and then left before the baseball game started to go to the show. But it was so much fun.
That's incredible. That's great. Okay. And what was the show like?
And the show was great. That was such a cool venue that clearly is used for music, but is also perfect for stand-up comedy in its own space. It was a pretty big crowd, I thought, for a Wednesday. There must have been at least 40, 50 people in there, which was perfect, and they were fun. And it was great. Like, I would say anyone who's doing the festival, go to Denver you're going to Denver anyway. Go a few days early, do a show or two, and just add to the value of the trip.
Yeah, get some extra stage time. Yeah, it's a real neat. It's called the Black Buzzard. It's beneath Oscar Blues Bar and Grill. It's like a basement downstairs, brick walls. Looks like it's haunted, and a beautiful stage and lighting and sound.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a cool venue. So yeah, and you had a great set there. That was fun. So then you got a ride arranged by the festival up to Vail. Where did you stay during the festival? Or I guess that first night. So you went up Thursday.
Well, that first night we were royalty.
Yeah, eve of the festival.
Yes,
eve of the festival. Where'd you stay that as royalty?
The Grand Hyatt, I believe. I think it was
Grand Hyatt Vail. Shout out to them.
It was nice, and because the festival didn't officially start till the Friday, but we went up since I'd come in for the Wednesday show. You arranged transportation to Vail Thursday, and we did another sort of pre-festival show, but in Vail this time on the Thursday night at was it Vail Brewing Company?
Vail Brewing Company.
Yeah, is that right?
And Plaza.
And it was packed. That show is super fun.
Yeah, that's a really important show for the organizers of the festival. It's a free to the community. It's a locals. The idea is that locals can come out. It's late at night. It's like 9:30 start, maybe even 10 p.m. start. So if you're waiting tables somewhere, you can still make the show. We bring in a surprise headliner. Last year it was somebody from Comedy Central. This year was somebody who tours with Bert Kreischer. And then this year we also had two of the festival headliners came in early and did surprise spots. And then a bunch of very talented comedians like Adam, who had flown in from around the country and were in early, also got up on stage. So yeah, free local show for the community. If you're a Vail person, definitely mark that on your calendar.
Yeah, it's pretty wild that the festival hadn't started yet, and I just had already had two great shows. So
I love it. I love it. That reminds me, I just want to compliment you, and without giving too much away, you have a kind of math related joke. When you said number 2, it made me think of a different low number, and I just love that joke.
Thank you. It's a
great
one.
Joke. It's one of those jokes where like I'm jealous of it.
Those are the best. I know exactly what you mean when you hear a joke and you're like, oh man, I wish I'd thought of that kind of
If anybody out there gets a chance to see Adam Muller live, definitely check him out, and you'll know what joke I'm talking about once you hear it. So you had a great time at the Eve show, the free locals community show, Vail Brewing Company. Thank you to them for supporting that. It wouldn't happen without Vail Brewing Company, that free local show for the community. All right, so now it's Friday. You got to move hotels. Where do you end up?
Yeah, which was just down the road to Antler, I believe. Was it Antler?
Oh, so nice. Antlers at Vail.
Which was like kind of closer to the, I guess, town central square area.
Lion's Head. It's in the Lion's Head.
Now it was a real quick little shuttle bus ride, or you could even walk to kind of all the venues and restaurants and stuff. Just like both the Grand Hyatt and the Antler, like from the room, I could both hear and have a view of the river,
Gore Creek,
that just runs through the town, and it's just the most soothing, peaceful sound. And you got lucky because it doesn't really happen year round. What's happening there is the river is at like double level
because the snow from the ski mountain is melting off and coming down in waterfalls and other stuff. And the Gore Creek is just raging. Raging is like, that's the wrong word. It is raging, but it's not like, it's such a peaceful rage.
Yeah.
It's the most peaceful rage possible.
I like that. A peaceful rage. It sounds like a comedy album name.
It does. It does. So you move over to Antlers. What a great spot.
Moved to Antlers.
Antlers is close. I heard a rumor about you.
A welcome basket for every comic.
Yeah, tell us about the welcome basket.
Or is it basket bag? Whatever it was.
Bag,
gift bag with some some like tokens for a free beer, for free coffee, that sort of thing. A wonderful, like the softest long sleeve t-shirt I think I own now.
Nice.
That's
Have
great.
you worn it on stage yet? You got to send me a picture of you wearing it on
It's
stage.
I will, because I also let the cat out of the bag, bought a sweatshirt because it's also one of the softest sweatshirts I've ever seen. So those will be worn on stage, and I will send you photos. It's a little hot now, unfortunately, but
sure,
it'll certainly before before admissions close for the next year's festival.
Absolutely. Yeah,
you'll see some photos with that stuff on. Yeah,
sweet.
Yeah. That stuff's great.
Cool. So you like your gift basket? That's great.
Yeah.
Things to rock
nice room, great spot. And I mean, I don't think we've said it explicitly, but all of this lodging was taken care of by the festival.
Yeah, paid for.
So that's
so yeah, if you're a comedian watching this and you're evaluating what festivals to apply to, I'm not saying apply to Vail Comedy Festival, but that's something to factor in if you're thinking about different festivals. The lodging is included, paid for.
Yeah, and that makes a big difference. For sure.
Yep. Cool. So you're at Lion's Head. Now I did hear a rumor about you. And I'm gonna lead you into this.
Sure.
There's a nearby business that I think you enjoyed.
That was the best part of the festival. Best part of the festival. Like, the comedy was fine, but the Little Diner is my favorite restaurant on the planet. And I love it too. Like, I was so lucky because it was 100 yards from the hotel I got. Kind of tucked away. Like, if I didn't see Google Maps, I might have missed it.
How did you hear about it? Did you just walk by it?
I honestly went on to the computer, and based on my location, I was just like restaurants nearby, and I love diners. And it's like Little Diner. I'm like, oh, there's a diner. I'm going to the diner. Also the proximity. And then it took me a second to find it, but I was like, oh, now I'm eating here every meal. This is fantastic. I think I did.
I heard some comics saw you there for 2 meals in the same day.
Yeah. I eat there at least 3 or 4 times, and it was it wasn't enough.
Awesome. We love it. The Little Diner isn't a sponsor of the festival, but we probably should get them involved somehow because everybody loves them. We took the staff of the festival there on Sunday morning. Nice. I love it. I take a lot of that. We do a monthly show year round, VailComedyShow.com, and I take almost every headliner there. If you pro tip for anybody visiting, order the pankoken the second you sit down. That's Dutch for Dutch pancake. And or maybe it's Dutch for pancake, I guess. But it's delicious. Cinnamon apple is the way to go, in my opinion.
And there's a way on your phone to get yourself on the wait list for a seat. Because
I didn't even know you could do that. You can do that.
You can do it on your phone, so that instead of having
that's huge.
So when you're walking over, just get on your phone and put your name on the list.
Yeah, it's very popular. There's a long wait
spot.
Or you go.
It's only open until 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Great breakfast, great lunch, get there before
delicious food. Okay, so we haven't even got to the festival yet.
They better show them this. They better sponsor the festival next year.
I think they should. Brian Little, he's the owner of Little Diner. I've seen your tricked out Jeep. It's really cool with the custom. It's like says Little Diner on the sides. Oh, awesome. I think it says like Lil Diner on the back, or it might say Little. I forget. He's got a custom license plate. So, anyways, all right. Well, this is incredible. This is a new record for Live from Vail Comedy Festival. We have not even gotten to the festival yet, and we're more than halfway done with the episode. So eventually you do start the festival and you have a show. How was your first, or what was your first event, or talk to me about something during the festival?
Let's say, because I think I had one show Friday, one Saturday, one Sunday. Okay. I think that's right. And, but what was cool was, look, the real value of the festival, like the comedy's great, of course, but just meeting the other comics, and however you curate who you accept, like everyone was just wonderful, kind, nice. There was a few comics from New York that I obviously knew. So it was, I saw some friendly faces, but everyone I met was great. So just like, and it's not a big town. So you just walk out of your hotel, you're going to get a coffee, you're going to bump into a dozen of the comics, and then you just, hang out, grab a coffee. There was, I don't remember which day, but I did a couple of just the open mics, like the extra stage time. And that was really fun. A lot, like every show, because there was like 5 o'clock, roughly 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
Yeah. No, on Sunday, there's like a 2 or 3 o'clock as well.
Yeah. And
or maybe on Saturday.
And forget the magic show. Holy smokes. That was wild. But,
yeah. Pro tip.
But it was fun just supporting the shows. Yeah.
If you're a comic who gets into the festival, go to the magic show, the indoor one. We have free ones for kids and families outside, but the magic show is so good. Last year here's a fun story for you, Adam. Last year we started that show with 0 audience members.
Wow.
and we pulled in like begrudgingly like 8 comics to just sit in the seats.
Right.
And they have not stopped talking about it.
Yeah.
It was so good. This year we had like 30 people, which was great. And the comics were blown away. I've heard that.
And then there was the people that he just pulled out of his hat that just added to the audience. But it was great.
Travis Nye, anybody who wants to look him up, NYE. Very
and then there was
funny.
like an open mic tacked on to the end of the magic show, I believe.
That was new this year. That was, if I can pat myself on the back, that was some scheduling genius. Because we had 3 events in a row. And by the time the open mic, which we brand a show up showcase, Adam, it's a show up showcase.
Show up showcase,
and we had like 30 plus real audience members at that show up showcase. It was as good as some of the shows.
It felt like a show with the only downside being you're trying to follow magic. Which is not easy as a comedian to follow magic, but people did it. They managed to follow magic, and it was a wonderful show. So,
nice.
So that was
that was some of the.
I think. So I've skipped Friday and Saturday, but
what's that?
That was Sunday, so we've sort of skipped Friday and Saturday. But just going to the shows, hanging out with the comics. There was like after parties. I will admit that I am a lightweight at the after party at altitude.
Yeah.
So I was I skipped out a little early to get some sleep because I just I'm just too old and battered and I needed some sleep. But it was a lot of fun.
Nice. What were some of your favorite venues you got to perform in?
Was it Frost? I did think of the name.
Frost, really cool, wide room.
Sunday night is when I was and remember that it's Memorial Day weekend, so the Sunday night kind of feels like a Saturday night.
Yeah.
But fun room. It was packed. Leah Bonema, I think it was her headline show.
Yep.
So much fun to do a spot and then just to sit back and watch her do 45 minutes and just murder.
Yeah.
And the headliners were great, like the Sarah's Lounge. But I wasn't on the shows that were there. But that was a very cool venue. And the Carmen Lagala headliner show, I mean, even though I wasn't on it, was maybe one of the highlights comedically of the festival. Room was packed, like standing room only.
Yeah.
And just everyone was just murdering.
That was
a bachelorette party of 15 women that were reasonably well behaved. It was
they were
never
terrific.
Seen before in comedy. It was fantastic.
Only in Vail.Adam. Only in Vail did the bachelorette parties positively contribute.
Oh yeah, I wish they came to every show, which I would can't believe I'm saying.
Yeah, they were fantastic.
Yeah, they were great.
They got special festival passes that had a little logo with a martini glass and an engagement ring in it.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't see that. That's awesome. But that was just a great comedy venue. Frost was great. And then all the other venues were like quirky and weird, but like in some weird way, like I mean that in a positive way.
Yeah. It was like a secret, like a speakeasy kind of thing. I
can't believe we're doing comedy here and somehow it's fun.
Yeah. Well, I will say that a lot of the positiveness of those quirky spaces was due to the festival staff that worked so hard to get, make sure there was a stage and good lighting and good sound and all the equipment set up. And they really turned some unusual spaces into legit comedy club feeling rooms. Yeah.
So the shows were fun, but like if anyone asks me like, should I apply to the Vail Comedy Festival? Should I go? I would say like, just make sure this is going to sound kind of counterintuitive, but don't focus on the comedy.
Yeah.
Like be prepared, have great sets and you're going to have fun time on stage. But like, it's about being in Vail. It's about the other 20, 30 comics, the people you're meeting for the first time, because you'll bump into them again. These are very, very funny people.
Yeah. Is there anybody in particular you want to shout out that you're excited to work with in the future when you travel?
Well, there's a bunch. It's funny because I remember more where they're from than their names off the top of my head.
Shout out the places.
There was there was a hysterical gentleman from Nashville, super funny.
Brad Sativa.
From San Francisco. My bunkmate from San Francisco.
Devontre Coleman.
So a couple Denver comics that were great.
Terrific, all of them.
A Southern California comedian that was kind enough to drive me back to the airport at 3 a.m. Monday morning.
Whoa, nice.
Yeah, so that that was great. Yeah, so like everyone was wonderful.
That's awesome. That must have been Joe Stapleton.
Joe, yes, it was Joe
from LA. That's amazing.
I was really
right,
nervous in the back of the car that he was going to fall asleep. Joe is not afraid to enjoy himself. But
he's got a great episode, by the way, live from Vail Comedy Festival.
Oh, that's awesome.
All three of those comics that you just mentioned, Brad Sativa, we're taping in a couple days.
Yeah,
and
Brad, that's it.
Joe Stapleton, we've already recorded. And Devontre, we already recorded. So check all those out on YouTube or wherever.
And Devontre, like he was on that Wednesday show in Denver as well.
Yeah.
So like I knew he was really funny from the first joke he told on that show.
Yeah.
He is a very funny guy.
Yeah. Check him out. Bay Area guy. All right. Here's probably the toughest question of live from Vail Comedy Festival. If one of your friends was going to the festival next year, what would you hope we improved upon or changed for the better?
You know, that's what I did think about that. So here's how I'll frame the answer to that. One, I would say if you didn't change anything, I would still recommend someone go. Okay. Right? So I debated in my mind whether, and if holding aside the first two shows I did that weren't part of the festival, would I rather do 2 shows instead of 3, but have the sets slightly longer? Maybe. I obviously thought the Sarah's Lounge was like one of the better venues. And so I wished maybe there'd been more shows there. I don't know. Okay. What else? I think you should tell everyone in advance about the Little Diner. I don't think they should have to find it on their own.
We'll just call it the Little Diner Comedy Festival.
Little Diner Comedy Festival.
This is funny. I wanted to arrange a like secret VIP show at the Little Diner where the comic would be in the kitchen. This is not going to make sense to listeners or people who haven't been there, but there's like this, they'd be fenced in, and then you just have the audience all around. It's a little far, it's a little off the beaten path for the size of the festival now, but I could definitely see that happening in the future. And Brian Little, you close at 2 p.m. anyways. Why wouldn't you let us do this?
Even that space right in front of it that's still covered.
Yeah, sure.
That could be an interesting spot for a show too. But we could. There's lots of nooks and
crannies.
Well,
to go out on a positive note, what were a couple of your favorite things about the Vail Comedy Festival 2023?
That we haven't talked about. So Little Diner and being in Vail, we've already kind of touched on those.
Sure.
Gosh, what else? That was such a big part of it. Sitting in a jacuzzi staring at the mountains one afternoon was pretty solid for me. And then I mean, I've already mentioned it, but the Sunday night show at Frost, like from a stand-up, from a comedy standpoint, I can't not mention a show because it is a comedy festival.
Did you tape that set?
I don't think I did.
Oh boy.
But
we might have it. We'll try.
Oh, if you have it. I mean, I wasn't that'd be a fun one to have a tape of. But that was
and we also have some great photos of you. I don't know if you've gotten them yet.
Oh, the photo of me and Peter playing chess is like, it looks like we're grand masters. And if you saw that board, you'd be like, a 4th grader could beat either of these guys. But Peter won, for the record. I'm not trying to and I never got a rematch because people kept using that table to eat. It was very stressful. But that was across the way from the Frost venue. There was the chess
in the Sebastian Hotel. If anybody wants to play chess,
it's a cool spot. But I honestly, the highlight for me was I'd never been to Vail before, and just being and just walking around and seeing the mountains and going for I wouldn't say anything I did was a hike because there was always cement underneath my feet, but I did a lot of walking and listening to the creek and sitting in the jacuzzi and just being around comics for 3 or 4 days. It was awesome.
Incredible, Adam. I mean, I think you, of any of the 30 comedians, may have gotten one of the best experiences between arriving early, going to a Major League Baseball game, getting on 5 different shows, going to showcases, finding a restaurant that you absolutely loved, the jacuzzi. This has been a great episode.
Well, it's also clear to me from both the festival, from the Wednesday night show, meeting several Denver comics at the Vail Fest. Like, clearly Denver has a wonderful comedy scene. So if you're going to the Vail Comedy Festival and you're not from Denver, if you go a couple days early and with enough, and you give people enough time, you're gonna find a few shows to jump on or things to do, or even just buy a ticket and go to the Comedy Works with whoever is headlining.
Yeah.
How often, like, you're going to Denver and then to Vail anyway. Why not take advantage?
Yeah. Awesome.
I think I walked by the Comedy Works going back from our show as it was letting out.
Oh,
and
nice.
I was like, there's just comedies everywhere. It's great.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's big in Colorado. We love it. Well, we hope the Vail Comedy Festival keeps getting bigger. Thanks for spreading the word and wearing the shirt.
And the sweatshirt. I got, oh my God, that's so soft.
It's so soft. It's incredibly soft. Who knows what kind of creatures they murdered to make that soft.
Oh,
it was worth it.
It was worth it.
All right, Adam, you're the best. This was a great episode.
Oh, great.
Thanks everybody for tuning in to Live from Vail Comedy Festival. One last reminder, Vail Comedy Festival is every Memorial Day weekend. That's the end of May. It's in Vail, Colorado. If you're a comedian, submissions open up every year, November 1st. If you're an audience member, passes go on sale January 1st. You can get all that info at vailcomedyfestival.com. Where can people find you, Adam, from Brooklyn, New York?
Best place to find me is on Instagram at Adam.Muller, but it's spelled Muller. So Adam.Muller. That's me.
Awesome. Thanks, Adam. Everybody have a great day and tune in again to Live from Vail Comedy Festival.